Okay, so with this one we're going to look at audio transitions and fades. There are less preset audio transitions than there are video transitions, quite a lot less. There's basically 3 of them. So again, if we go to the effects folder, if you go to audio transitions, we've got crossfade subfolder, and then we've got 3 options in here. The first one is called constant power, so we're going to just have a look at this one. And this basically has the effect of slowly fading in the audio. So we've got a music. Oops, again, zoom in a bit. So we've got a music track here. So I'm just going to extend this out a bit. In fact, what I'll do is I'll play it to you without the fade first, so we can make a comparison. So. So that's without the fade in. Now there is actually a slight fade in applied to the music already, but we're going to accentuate that. So if we drag in the constant power effect or transition, and then I'm going to just lengthen this a bit. If it's too short, we won't really notice the effect. It'll be too short. I'm just going to lengthen that out a fair bit. So now if we play through, hopefully we can hear a difference. So you can see that basically has the effect of accentuating exaggerating the fade in. Okay, the other 2 audio transitions are constant gain and exponential fade. Constant power and exponential fade are quite similar, so what they do is gradually fade in. So if you think of it on a graph, it's almost like if you know what an exponential curve looks like, it kind of gradually, it's like a gradual acceleration. So it starts off very quiet and then gradually the sound increases more quickly towards the end. Although exponential fade does this more slowly. Constant gain is different to those 2, and basically constant gain, the increase in volume is constant. Okay, so if you think of that on a graph, it's almost like a diagonal line. It just it increases at a constant rate, the volume. Okay, now we can also manually increase the volume, create fades in and out, increase or decrease the volume. So if we just looking at the, so I've just increased the view of the audio track here, and you can see we've got the left and right channels because we're in stereo, and we have, or you should have visible, a line here which represents the volume. Okay, if you can't see that line, if you just go to the spanner icon, the settings icon, top left of the timeline, click on that and just make sure show audio keyframes is selected. Okay. Okay, so what we need to do first of all is to set a point, what's sometimes called a handle on the volume line here. We need to use the pen tool. So if you select the pen tool and mouse over the volume line, you'll see the plus icon appears, and then we can click and we can add a handle. So to create our own manual fade in, what we'll do is we'll create another handle at the start of the audio clip. And then what we can do using the pen, we can mouse over that, and then we can use that, we can drag it down. Okay, so we're going to start off where you can see it says minus 999 decibels. So we're starting off with no audio, and then we're increasing to our normal audio level, which is actually set at 0 decibels. That's the normal audio that we heard before, volume level that we heard before. So I'm just going to move this second volume control along a bit so we can hear the fade more clearly. And if we play that through, we should hear that fades in. Okay, again, because it's only very short, the fade, we can perhaps sort of lengthen that bit. There you go, and you can probably hear it now, and I've lengthened it a bit. Okay, so you can see hopefully how this works. You know, there might be a section later on in the video where we want to bring the volume level down. There might be some other audio we're adding that we want to make more audible. So, you know, I could just maybe drop the volume for a certain scene, certain section, and then bring it back up again. Okay, obviously if you want the sound to go from sort of one point to another, you can just position there. You can just position one audio handle or control directly below another, so it will go from very quiet. Straight to high, play. There we go. Another thing to be careful of, if you increase the volume too high, you might well get distortion. So if I take that too high, it's starting to distort. Okay, one final thing, just in terms of the terminology I'm using, I have been referring to these as handles. You'll notice when you've used Animate that there's something very similar in the sound editing tool in Animate, and there it said these are referred to as handles. Actually, strictly in Premiere, these are referred to as keyframes, so it might be more helpful to think of these as keyframes. Again, you know, you'll see that we can use these keyframes in video to you know, to create animations, those kind of things. So it's probably better to just think of these as keyframes. So just add that as a final note.